Hello, everybody. So right now, I was just in this mode of thinking of the year ahead. You know, not so much as far as expectation, just thinking about what is coming energetically in 2025. And so I took to the ephemeris, and of course, we have a few things going on throughout the year 2025 astrologically. Generally speaking, 2025 holds the energy of a 9. And 9 is about wisdom. And 9 is about the accumulation of experience. 9 is also being completely okay with who you are. It's being okay with it and expressing it. 2025 is going to be the year where you no longer shrink yourself for anybody. You are, it's kind of like this. You're loud, you're proud, get over it. I'm here. I'm allowed to take up space. I'm allowed to speak my truth. It's for the first time a lot of people are going to be standing in their authenticity. And the thing that comes with the ability to be there comes a lot of work. And this year, 2024, was a work year, and it was working on the shadow. The shadow is something that lives, or shadows, plural, are usually things that we condition ourselves to. It's kind of like adopting trauma and pain and not ever healing it. So then it takes on a role of being the driver. And so a lot of it's kind of unconscious energy as well. So it's not like, because you don't see the shadow, and if you're unaware of it, then you can't really know how it is affecting your life. So 2024 was really like digging deep for the shadow to understand it, but also to just simply be made aware that it exists, that there are things that you are harboring that are hindering you being you, and you being happy, and you being whatever, or you finding abundance of joy, abundance of love, a relationship, whatever it may be. There are things that we all have within ourselves that come from places of wounding. It's wounding, and we get them. We've experienced pain and trauma throughout our lives from the time we're born. So it's really up to us to make sure that we take a good hard look at ourselves and not project outward, because that's kind of what we tend to fall into, is projecting outward. That's how shadows work, So, like, if ever I see somebody being disrespectful towards another person, I go, that person that's being disrespectful is projecting a lot of hurt and pain And they're saying, what they're saying to this person is exactly how they're speaking to themselves. So check yourself and how you're speaking to yourself and how you are treating yourself, because therein lies many shadows, and we all have them, and we will continue to have them until we reach a level of we've uncovered it. We've uncovered it, and that's it, but it's like, yeah, 2025 is us coming to terms with most, if not all, of those shadows, standing in that awareness of the self and the wounds, and embracing the fact that we can't change what happened, but we can change our attitude towards it. You are in control of you and no one else. Whatever you want from anything external, whatever you want from outside of yourself, you must first give to yourself. So that relationship with who you are is incredibly important. It's the most important relationship that you will ever have in your entire life. And it is important that you know that you have so much power, that you are the alchemist, and you can change anything external by changing it internally changing it. Because it always starts, it's not the outside in, it's the inside out. That's exactly how it works. If but this is going to be a time when 2025 is going to be the year where your eyebrows are raising because you can't believe you've unlocked it. And then you're just going to be standing there and you're going to be like, this is amazing. I want to show everybody that this can work. You're going to be really super excited about it because you're going to have so much coming towards you that you have created by loving yourself, forgiving yourself, forgiving others, understanding and seeing the shadow. There's just so much wisdom and power and enlightenment that comes with that. So it's the 2025 is the enlightenment year. There are going to still be a lot of truths that are coming out. There are going to be a lot of things that are uncovered, especially in the world at large. There will be things that come up to the surface that people thought were not only buried but had disintegrated into the ground. But no, the truth always comes to the surface, and 2025 is that year. It's following the 2024 energy. The 2024 energy was hard at work to discover, hard at work in the daily grind, hard at work to the point where I go, why am I struggling? What can I change so that I am not struggling anymore? That also comes to an end, because you're struggling because you are telling yourself that you need to. Meanwhile, if you were to look inward, you might possibly find the kernel of truth from a wound that you had not seen, felt, nor healed, that was the thing that you used to convince yourself that you needed to struggle. And now you're freeing yourself of that. So there's so much going on. There's so many different examples that I can give you, right? I'm trying to be as, I don't want to be too abstract, but I definitely don't want you to take any examples that I give you as like completely like trying to match your life. It's an examples to express the general energy. So yeah, we're having a lot of really cool planetary alignments. It's cool for anybody who has Cancer placements at later degrees. I'm one of them. Because and I've experienced this once before, but it was 12 years ago. Oh no, maybe 13. It was 2013, I think. The last time Jupiter was in the sign of Cancer. And it transits my first house. So that's a really opportunistic time. So if you have your sun, moon, or rising in Cancer, it's going to be a very interesting year, because it's moving out of the sign of Gemini, which it doesn't really like to be in the first place. Also, just generally speaking, it's the way that Jupiter hits the birth chart of the United States is very interesting with that Gemini, because I'm not looking forward to when Uranus moves into the sign of Gemini in July of 2025. I am seeing that kind of coming to a collective worldly God, I hate to put this out there, but it's true that historically, whenever the planet Uranus is in the sign of Gemini, the United States has been involved in some way in a war. So there are historic astrologers out there like Nick Dagenbest, who wrote a book on it called Uran USA. And I think he even has a channel on YouTube that you can go and watch. But there are, I'm sure that there are people that are already talking about it. But of course, in July and August, we do have a retrograde moment where it goes back, but so in December it's really not going to be in full effect. So 2026 is really going to be the time, but there's going to be sort of this flash within 2025 of like the state of the world, and us being involved, if you live in the United States, us being involved in some way in wars that take place or are coming to a head. Like the decision is being made. And this is pockets of the world too. It's like, I think it's actually going to be one of the first times where we see two different wars happening in two different places that we are involved in. It's going to be strange like that. That's kind of like how I'm seeing it form. But don't hold it against me if I'm wrong about that, because I'm not somebody who studies these historic events or even really fully has a great deal of knowledge on the wars that have taken place in the world. So please, don't hold it. I don't know anything about that stuff. So I mean, you might even say to yourself, why are you talking about it? Because I saw Uranus going into the sign of Gemini, and I was like, damn, something's amiss, something's happening. And we can see it already starting by what already is happening in this world. What's happening in the Middle East? What's happening in Ukraine? I mean, it's all over the place. And so we have to really we really have to rally together. But we have to do what we can to help people as well. 2025 is one of those years. So there are really beneficial things that are occurring, but in a for people who have certain placements in their charts. Like I said, Cancer, I may go into more of that in the future on a personal level so I can get down to it. But for the most part, this is kind of just an energetic check-in of like what we're walking into. What this new year 2025 is all about. And so from there is a huge ending and new beginning occurring, and it is an ending of what I feel. It is an ending of what has transpired in years prior that no longer suits us, because we are evolving into, and we have evolved into a people, a society, a world that needs to build anew. Because the old operations don't work for us anymore. It's so everything there's a breakdown of very many fundamental things, and it's a building new so that it can support the new evolved human beings that are not only here already shifting energetically, but are being born as well. These new babies, especially within the last 12 years, it's been pretty incredible to see, to feel them here. So we are transitioning, and there are going to be things that fall away. And there are going to be things that are birthed and brought about and created and invented, so to speak, new inventions. And I want to also say that there's something going on in 2025 when it comes to AI. There's going to be a lot of focus on AI. For real. It's going to be focus on AI. So keep that in mind. I can't get specific with that just yet, but yeah, just keep an eye out. But you guys are great, and we're good, and we have this space, which is really great, because if we need to talk about anything that we're experiencing, it's a safe place to do that. So you are most welcome here. And I do wish you a very, very good transition into the year 2025, a quarter of a century already. Wow, it's incredible. I'm sending you so much love, everybody, now and always.